Hi guys. Guess what topic of conversation we're going to have this beautiful, busy, bustling morning here in the most beautiful Ubud next to a sacred, beautiful, special tree, as one lady had mentioned on a previous video. You were absolutely right. It's depicted from a very ancient, majestic tree. I think Avatar kind of got the essence from that as well, the magical tree. So if you look here, you can see how all those veins, those roots are all coming down. Very similar to Avatar, right? Anyway guys, it's a beautiful day. Do you like my top? See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. You know, sometimes the old ones, the old lines, the old ancient texts, the old meanings are really, really powerful. And there's something in them that we have just brushed aside. They're no longer welcome in this world. They have no meaning in this world, when actually they have so much more meaning in this world than what we can imagine. Today's an interesting subject because the subject we're talking about is how to find our higher self. How do I clear the fear from my life? And it is an interesting observation that a lot of you keep throwing at me all the time through my videos. And it's like, well, every aspect of every conversation that we have together, in that conversation, if you listen, you can pull out fragments of that and attach it to your life and implement it into your life to be able to help you along your journey. If you're looking for one specific thing to help you, you've got it wrong. It isn't going to work like that. A bit like I'm looking for my true love. That ain't going to bring you true love. Or I need this business, this one business to make me a fortune. You're not going to be rich because of that. So all that we believe we're looking for is one way, one dimension. It's show me the answer, give me the pill, do this for me, what do I need to do? And life is about an oasis, an abundance of so many different aspects of how we can grow spiritually and thus heal our life. So today's an interesting topic, and it's about how to find the balance within all of the sadness in life that we see around us. And ultimately, that is the key point to everything. What do we see around us? Now, this morning I was on my motorbike and I was going through a little village, and all of a sudden there was like two guards and a policeman, and everybody just came into the middle of the road, and all the motorbikes, which was with me, we all stopped because we saw that there were two guards or like guys who worked somewhere close, had got this little beautiful Balinese man, must have been over 100 years old, and they were leading him across a busy road. The opposite side, there were no cars coming. It was just outside where there was so many motorbikes and cars, and everybody stopped. And as he was walking, which was really, really slow, one little step after another, I turned and looked, and my first thought is, I wonder how everybody's going to react, how they're going to be impatient. That's my reaction, you see. Now, my first thought, thinking about other people, are they going to be upset with him and angry? Are they going to drive past him and like they would do in the Western world, you know, getting angry? But I breathed because I looked and I noticed through the masks and through the helmets that some people don't wear here, they were all smiling at this man. And this little man was smiling, trying to smile and cross the road at the same time, being led by these two men helping him. And he had this like, it was just like a sheet of perspex he was holding. And everybody just waited patiently. But what I noticed is that when he got across the road after, say, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, everybody waved at him, and he looked back and tried to wave, you know. It was so beautiful, and I was so taken aback by it. And in me, I just thought, God, this is the place where I thought I was coming to live in this world. This is the kind of respect for my elders. And I thought, and then when he'd crossed and everybody waved and he waved back, we all set off. But for some strange reason, I had this pull to go back. So I spun back my bike and I saw a guard, and I said to the guard who had helped him across the road, "Do you speak English?" He said, little. I said, "The man who was across the road." I said, "Who is that man?" And he said, "Very special man, help village, always kind, always respectful." And I went, "That's all I need to know, thank you." And I drove off. You see, in life, I think when we do our best and we help and we give and we share, I think the Western world has lost respect for that. They don't see it, they don't value it, and it's really sad. And that's one of the things that I observed today. So going back to where I was about how we interact, how we see things, a lot of the times, if you really truly want to find your deep, true inner path and self, you have to start by absolutely not listening, not looking, not listening, and not speaking. That ultimately is the first key to enlightenment. When I moved from a very busy home in England with many businesses and helping many people daily, I moved to a little magical mountain. And on that mountain, I had no work. We had a little place. We had no set timescales to do anything. And without even realizing, I had begun my journey. Now let me tell you something. When you begin this journey and you have that moment where you don't need to do anything, you don't need to think about anybody because you've left everybody behind and now it's just you, it can be one of the most challenging points in your life. You see, what you think is the ultimate happiness, I believe you have to go through the ultimate challenge to get there. It's like climbing a mountain. You only ever truly understand the power and the amazingness of you and what you've conquered until you get to the top. You won't see it halfway. It won't have no effect. But you have to keep going, keep fighting till you get there, and then you get it. And that's a bit like this, look. You don't look for anything. You don't listen to anything, and you don't say anything. You basically observe your inner self. You listen to you. You talk to you. You observe you. You speak to you, and you hear you. So it's all about you now. You see, most of us are so distracted because we're too busy looking at everybody else. We're too busy listening to everybody else's stuff, and we're too busy talking about everybody else. And why? Because it's a distraction from who we are. You don't think I have conversations daily with people I'm sat there knowing that, everything that you're saying is a distraction from who you are and what you're about to do. I was actually sat at a place that I can't say, but funnily enough, two women sat next to me and they started a conversation. I actually had to leave that table because I was so heartbroken. So there were two teachers, they were spiritual guides, and they were bitching about their students. I was absolutely mortified, and I thought, this is exactly what I mean. These people who claim to be something that they are spend most of the time distracting themselves by their pupils and not looking at who they are, busy pumping up, inflating their ego by pulling other people down and saying how weak they are and all of these things, But if I would have said something to them, I would have just been as bad. But I decided to just move away and realize that the world has its place. Everybody has their place. Every situation has its place. So once you realize that, you can get on with your happy life. But at that moment, yes, I was heartbroken, but it went very quickly. So I believe if you ask me, how do I fix myself? How do I get happiness? I think you have to start by stop looking around, stop listening to everybody, and stop talking about anybody. Just get on with you. Observe yourself, listen to your questions, and find your answers. I think that's my message today, guys. Short and sweet today, not a 20-minute video, but from my heart to yours, I love you with all my heart. I hope some of this meant a little bit to you. I hope you're now on the ladder to your deep inner wisdom and understanding, because let me tell you, once you start on that ladder and you observe everything and just smile at it and think, you know what, it's okay. Once you let it all go, once you stop looking at things that make you feel sad, when you stop listening to people telling you what you should and shouldn't do, and when you stop talking ill about people and even stop talking wonderful about people, that means that you're now in your presence and you're about to start work on yourself. And ultimately you are that most important thing to work on today. So give it a go today. Even if you set yourself a time, it doesn't matter, do whatever you want. Even if you set yourself 7 days to not listen to anybody, speak to anybody, and observe anybody, just observe yourself and look at you, feel you, think about what you're thinking, think about what you're feeling, and ask yourself the questions and come up with your own answers. See what happens in the next 7 days. So, love you all. Thank you guys for subscribing to this beautiful channel that I love with you, with a beautiful majestic tree behind. Not so much sweeping today, right? It's great. Love you all so much. Have a great day, guys. I hope some of this gobbledygook made some sense. Even if one thing touched you today, I did my job. And thank you so much for going to markbayerski.com and buying your crystals last night. I really love you for that. You'll love them, I promise.